Welcome to the Polygon Forest podcast. I am Chris Jarvis, indie game developer, and I'm joined, as ever, with my co-host Vin Hill, also indie game developer.
Hello.
Hello. And today we're just going to do a quick video on Vin's game Long Gone and just go over his updates with what he's been working on. So for people that have not seen or heard of Long Gone, what's the tagline? What's the elevator pitch for what Long Gone is, Vin?
Yep. So Long Gone is a action adventure game set. It's not action adventure. That's a lie. It's just an adventure game. I know. It's a hard habit to get out of, actually. Like that's one thing that's always annoys me whenever I'm talking about this thing. It's an adventure game. It's an old school style adventure game, but not really full point and click. But it's set in this post-apocalyptic landscape. There's zombies, all that sort of good stuff. Very reminiscent of the, of scenes that we see in like The Walking Dead and The Last of Us and stuff like that. And it's very much sort of like a half parody game based on that sort of stuff. It's got this cool sort of low poly 3D pixel art look to it. And yeah, you just go around rummaging through things and inspecting items, combining stuff, all that sort of good stuff, and just having a good old time. That's the game now.
And we're just going to go over what the most recent updates are, because I can see there's some tiles on the little porch area which are new.
Yeah.
And I think some textures are new as well on the porch area.
Yeah, so there's a lot of visual updates which I've been doing over the past sort of week. I've been working on a lot of other stuff like outside of this area, but I'm not ready to sort of show that off yet because there will be a time and a place for that. But yeah, so the visual side of this area is getting updated. Mostly the grass, because I got a lot of complaints from people about the grass being too spiky and not pixel art enough. So I updated all of that. Yeah, which is fine. You know, like that's okay. A valid sort of comment. So I threw all of this pixel art based grass in now, so it's all sort of square and sort of lines up with the aesthetic of the rest of the game. So yeah. But it works pretty well. Like in terms of, like it's a billboard, so like everything kind of like always faces the camera.
Yeah.
But I think it does the job. Like it's just enough, and it moves and it sways like real grass does, and it's got multiple different lengths and all that sort of stuff. So I think it works. But
so how did you get the wind? Is that like a shader?
Yeah, so all of this is on just Unity's terrain grass thing. And the problem with that, more than anything, is that there's no interaction with the player yet. I don't know if I'll be able to even figure that out, and I don't even know if I need it. But it'd be nice if I can sort of figure that out later, because I did have that in my last grass. But I might do something else instead where the grass isn't interactive, but then I have a few hero assets like this little bush here, like maybe having that so that moves around whenever you touch that, so it's got some interaction in the scene, but like every blade of grass doesn't need to move basically. But that's the overall sort of visual look to that I've sort of figured out mostly.
Oh, that's cool. It does look different. Like my eyes are so used to seeing the triangular blades. What else is new then?
Floorboards. I created a new floorboard system, so like normally on these sorts of games, like it's just pixel art, so like nothing really moves. And one thing that I'm trying to push for is this idea that, the environment moves as well. That's why like when you go near Bite Face, like the fence is wobbling back and forth as well. But I wanted to sort of push that a bit further, and the floorboards on this scene in particular, like I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. I'm going to zoom in a little bit there. But they sort of bounce up and down as you sort of walk over them now.
Yeah. Because they're old and rickety, and so they've got a bit of flow in them.
So
that's cool.
That's one system I was like really happy to put in, because I can turn on this system for any sort of floorboard, and I might actually make a procedural script for this. So like I might be able to go through the house and like procedurally randomize which board is going to like flick up whenever you touch it, and then I can do a couple of different animations of it either bowing or turning, or like tilting and stuff, and then randomizing between those as well. As long as all
Yeah.
the actual boards are consistent sizes, then I should be able to do that pretty easily. But it's just another one of those little touches. Like, this character is like a bit more grounded in the world, like it isn't just this static sort of place. Like, there's everything sort of falling apart, which is definitely the sort of thing which I'm going for.
That's really cool. And you could have like dust as well, like kick up when the board moves and things.
Yeah, I need to do a visual effects pass. I think that's one of the next things I'm going to be doing once the front of this house is finished. Because I've textured and finished all of the porch area as well now. That was just like this grey box, which, I'm sure people were sick of looking at that, but all of that's been textured and looks a little bit better now. So now
Cool.
It's got its grass, like all the steps are like way too much detail, but like each individual board can be moved and things like that. And it's just, it's very ridiculous. Like, I went a bit too much overboard with all of this, but I like having the options to be able to, move anything. And because it really adds that flavor of like when you get like this board at the front, which is slightly tilted, it just gives it a little bit more of a lived-in feel to it,
Yeah, and just something that simple does make all that difference.
Yeah.
What about the there's the tiles as well, I noticed.
Yeah, they are a bit loose, aren't they?
They're very loose.
Yeah, a bit too loose for comfort. But yeah, so as you're alluding to, which you've already seen, but like other people haven't, but you can now, like, again, this idea with Bite Face when he's close to you and the fence is moving, I want to do the same thing for the porch as well for the character. So when he tries to pull on these boards, basically the whole thing is falling apart and it's all shaky. So then tiles fall off. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's a repeatable thing as well. Yeah.
And it's repeatable. So does the tile spawn?
Yeah. So I was trying to be quite clever about it. So this top tile here is the one, like, it slides out of that one and you don't really see it. I sort of mask it in a way because it bounces as he pulls. So it masks like the new one coming out. So it sort of looks like it's coming through, but it's a different one. And the old one is still there. So, and then it falls through the floor as well. I need to make this a little bit more foliage at the bottom, just so it's
to hide it.
Yeah. So there's that.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's one of those little things. Like, it's just adding that sort of rickety sort of feel to the game and making it so it feels like the world is literally falling apart, because it is, right? It's all overgrown and knackered, I guess. So yeah.
That's great. And so what is the next things you're going to be working on?
Yeah, so the next thing is the house. So the front of the house, I really want to get this sorted out because all the mechanics are pretty much in the game now, like in terms of what you can sort of do. Oh, that's broken. I don't know why. But yeah, the mechanics are all there in the game. It's just about getting the visuals for this section of the game, even though people are getting really sick of looking at this thing. I've had a lot of complaints online, people talking about like, oh, is this the only thing you've worked on? Right now, yes, like that's all I've worked on, because I've got to make a vertical slice somewhere, and this was the pick. But it's pretty much almost finished now anyway. Like, all the background's mostly there. The grass is now in. The porch is done. I think 90% of the animations are done. I just need to finish the front of this house now. So it's got a nice door, and then boards are, actually textured and all that sort of stuff. And then I'll be able to like really, get into the gritty on that. That's it.
So is this area going to be the demo area as well?
Yes.
So is this what you're going to use as a demo?
Yeah, so the demo is probably just going to be like the get in the house demo, which is just going to be like you play the start of the game. It's like the opening cutscene, all that sort of good stuff. Like you're tasked with getting into the house, and how you go about that. I just want to sort of let the player go free with that and sort of let them figure it out. So yeah, and they'll be able to walk around this area and really experiment with the different items that are floating around, because like there's all sorts of stuff just lying around, and it'll be. I'm really curious to see like what people get up to with all of this sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to watch like streamers discover the things for the first time and the look on their face, because it's one of those games I think that like the right word to describe it is delightful. Like it looks like it's going to delight a lot of people. They'll go, "Oh, I love that little touch."
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to that. So yeah, that's kind of, I guess, what we need to talk about today. Was there anything else you wanted to mention about the game?
No, I don't think so. It's just about, like, if anyone is watching this that is like had that same thought of like, oh, it just looks like the same thing. It's like, yeah, be patient. I'm a solo dev. Like that's the main thing. Something that I've been dealing with quite a bit is those sorts of comments, which I get it. Like people are excited to see the as a product, but yeah, good things come to those who wait.
Yes, be patient. It will be good. And you've been working on the processes and procedures, and then once that's all done, and you're just making things look pretty, when you're actually making the houses that are going to be in the game, it's going to be a lot quicker. The production will ramp up.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because all of the mechanics are going to be done by that point as well. So it's not even, at that point, I'm just a content mill. I'm just trying to create content to actually just get into the game to show off to people. And it'll just be like filling out the houses and making pretty stuff. And like, that's all fun and stuff. But yeah, you've got to deal with that for a little bit before we can get to all that fun stuff. Basically, that's the blunt end of it. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got this week. So I'm just going to be working on the front of the house, and then hopefully that looks nice and pretty by the end of next week, and then I can sort of crack on with the rest of the mechanics.
Perfect. So if you haven't already done, make sure you wishlist Focus Find. That's my game. I'm
rude. Side of it. How rude.
Make sure you wishlist Long Gone.
You should wishlist Focus Find as well, though. To be fair.
But also, yeah, I'm making an indie game, Focus Find, a 2D thriller narrative game about grief, and it's available to wishlist. The demo is going to be out very soon, so hopefully you'll see some more stuff about that. I'm making a trailer, and I'm working on the website, but that's just for press mainly. So, yeah. So wishlist Focus Find, wishlist Long Gone, and then we'll be happy. We're going to try and bring you some more like little bits and pieces. Next week, I might be able to show you what I've been working on in my spare time, a little side project that I've been working on, a little prototype. But it's not really in a state to show anyone anything yet.
Isn't it though?
I just want to get that animation sorted.
Okay.
And then I'll show people.
Fair enough. Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. Until next week then. Oh, where can we find you? We're like socials.
Oh, Hillfort Games. If you search Hillfort Games or Long Gone Game, you will find me. I am like the herpes of the internet at this point. I'm everywhere. Most notably, I'm probably seen the most on TikTok. So if you're on there, like you'll see little snippets of the game coming and going. Been a bit quiet over the last month because I'm saving stuff up. Basically, like there's going to be a big push before the end of the year for the game itself, and I really want to prepare for that. So. Yeah, there's stuff is coming to the pipe. But yeah, if you want to find
so stay tuned.
Go there. Yeah.
Similar thing for me, Acrylic Pixel. So that's my company name, and that's my socials, mainly YouTube and TikTok. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for more stuff that we're going to be putting out.
Indeed.
Until next time. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.